Hi everybody, welcome to Reader's Workshop today. Before we get the lesson started, I want you to take a minute and update your Reader's Notebook. Now remember, your Reader's Notebook is in Google Slides. And what you want to focus on today are the books that you want to read list and the books that you have read list. Remember, they look like this. And what you want to do is take a minute to update your lists. Many of you have already read 1, 2, maybe even 3 books since we've started school. And you want to update your list to keep track of the reading that you've done and some of the books that you would still like to read. So pause the video now, open up your digital reader's notebook, and update your lists. Today, we are going to use the Story Mountain structure, some of you know it better as Story Arc, to guide your reading and to guide your thinking too. Now remember, the Story Arc begins with characters and setting, and then as you move up the Story Mountain or Story Arc, you know that there's some action that's developing. There are problems and conflicts that are also developing. And at a certain point, there is a climax or a turning point where things change. And then, of course, at the end, there's usually a resolution to the problem. Now, let me show you how we're going to use the Story Mountain to guide our reading. At the beginning, you can ask yourself questions like, what seems to be important about the main character so far? Or what kind of world does the character live in? Or maybe who else is in the story? So let's use these questions inside the book, The Year of the Dog. Now, at this point, I want you to take out your whiteboard and a marker, and I want you to give some of this thinking a try. You're going to try to respond to one of these questions on your whiteboard, thinking about the book Year of the Dog. So, what seems important about Pacey so far? Or you may answer this question. What kind of world does Pacey live in? Or maybe who else is in the story that seems important? So stop for a minute, answer one of these questions on your whiteboard, and then be ready to share. Now, when you get to the middle of the story, you can use these questions to guide your thinking. What are the problems that the main character faces? Or how does the character respond to the problems? Or maybe, what patterns are you noticing in the character's behavior? Now remember, toward the middle, there's going to be some more action, possibly some more problems or conflicts. So when you get toward the middle, these questions can guide your thinking. Now let's give these questions a try. Erase your whiteboard and try to respond to one of these questions. What problems does Pacey seem to face? Now remember, you have a lot of different ideas. Some of you may think she's dealing with one problem more than another. And then, how does she seem to respond to those problems? And what patterns are you noticing in Pacey's behavior? So take a moment to pause the video and try out one of these questions on your whiteboard. Try it now. And last but not least, when you're reaching the end of a story, or sometimes it could be the end of a chapter, you can try these questions. What choices does the main character make to resolve the problem? Or what lessons does the character learn? And these are the kinds of questions that you would be asking at the end, when the solution to the problem becomes clear. And we can also think about the kind of lessons that were learned. So here's another place for you to try some of this thinking, but we're going to hold off on that for today. You can try this thinking later in the book. So when you're using the Story Mountain or the Story Arc to guide your reading, it's helpful to have a copy of this nearby, so your teacher either has a copy for you or you can find this in your email. You can use this as a bookmark to help you guide your thinking and ask the important questions at the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. Today, when you are trying to guide your thinking using these questions, we'd like you to create a book snap to try this thinking and to share. So at the end of your reading time today, submit a picture of a book snap where you have tried one of these questions. Enjoy your reading today.